In Phoenix, Arizona, a suburban housewife named Connie is taken into custody in the middle of the night at her own home. She surrenders without resistance, thinking back to how this all began months earlier. Connie is a former Olympic racewalker who won 3 gold medals, but it's not the kind of achievement that brings wealth or fame. These days, she lives with her husband Rick, an IRS auditor, and their relationship is strained. Unable to have children, they spent a fortune on treatments, and when Connie finally got pregnant, she tragically lost the baby. After that, Rick took a job that required traveling 3 weeks each month. When he's home, he treats Connie poorly, constantly reminding her she's unemployed, blaming her for the money lost on repeated treatments when he wanted to stop after one, and criticizing her for spending too much on her coupon hobby. That hobby is serious. Connie stockpiles coupons and buys items in bulk, storing them in the unused nursery, surrounding herself with products to mask her grief. Rick's long absences allow her to grow closer to her neighbor Jojo, who runs a YouTube channel sharing saving tips and is also obsessed with coupons. Jojo lives with her mother Josie and struggles to find work since her identity was recently stolen. She spends her free time flirting with the mailman Earl and trying to sell makeup door to door, though it's not going well. At the supermarket, Connie always hands cashier Greg a stack of coupons, making her total drop from over $100 to about $16. She likes to say that if you watch the pennies, the dollars take care of themselves. One day, while putting groceries away, Connie spots baby-themed wallpaper in the nursery and is hit with sadness. She tries to cheer herself up by eating cereal, but it's stale. Furious, she emails the company to complain. A few days later, she gets a coupon for free cereal along with an apology letter. When she redeems it, Greg mentions that any company will send free coupons to customers who complain. Inspired, Connie writes to multiple manufacturers, even when nothing's wrong, and soon amasses a pile of free coupons. She shows Jojo, who is shocked and even offers to buy one because it's still cheaper than paying full price. That's when Connie realizes she could sell free products for pure profit. Research leads her to discover that the coupons are printed in Mexico, not far away. She suggests stealing some to resell. Jojo hesitates but agrees since she's drowning in debt. Meanwhile, in Nevada, loss prevention officer Ken spots a counterfeit coupon at market. The manager suggests honoring it for a loyal elderly customer, but Ken refuses. Rules are rules, earning the woman's insults. Later, on a flight home, a mother asks Ken to swap seats so her daughter can watch the landing stay calm. But he refuses, saying it's an important life lesson for her. Back in his lonely Utah apartment, Ken vents his frustration at the TV. In Mexico, Connie and Jojo stake out the coupon factory and decide to approach Alejandro and Rosa, a couple breaking rules but seemingly harmless. After explaining they need help, the women are welcomed into their home. Rosa is pregnant, and their low wages make them open to the idea. If Alejandro and Rosa steal extra coupons, Connie and Jojo will sell them in the US and split the profits. Alejandro is unsure, but Rosa persuades him for their baby's sake. The plan is simple. The printing and redemption departments don't interact, and each coupon run includes extras meant to be destroyed. Alejandro will sneak those out and send them in delivery trucks heading to the US. The boxes will appear harmless at the border. Days later, the first shipment arrives. Connie and Jojo set up a basic website and promote it on Connie's channel. Sales skyrocket, but soon supermarkets take notice. Ken starts getting complaints from managers about massive losses. He investigates until he traces one purchase to a housewife who tells him about the website run by a black woman on YouTube. Back at the office, Ken visits the site and sees its motto, "If you watch the pennies, the dollars take care of themselves." Meanwhile, Connie and Jojo's PayPal account is frozen due to rapid large deposits. To prove legitimacy, they reach out to Tina, a notorious hacker on the dark web. Tina scolds them for being so public, deletes Jojo's videos, and tells them they need a cover business to launder their money. She provides fake IDs, bank accounts, and a stash house, and advises waiting 6 months before spending. In exchange for 10%, she gives them an encrypted USB for their files. With Tina's cleanup, Ken loses his trail. Ken turns to the FBI, but they dismiss the case as trivial and hand it to their lowest-ranking agent, Albert, who takes it since he has nothing else to do. Using Jojo's cosmetics brand as a front, the scam grows profitable again, while Ken leaves the FBI daily messages. 6 months later, ready to spend, but mindful of Tina's warning, Connie recalls one of Rick's stories and decides they should buy luxury items to resell, making the money appear clean. They convince banks to give them cash by claiming it's for hiring staff for their cosmetics business. Then they splurge sports cars, boats, a private plane, even guns. They head to Las Vegas to plan their futures. JoJo will pay off her mother's mortgage, and Connie wants another try at fertility treatment. At last, Ken hears from. 2 days later, Ken meets Simon, a postal inspector. Simon takes the case and asks Ken to order some coupons from the website so they can examine the system closely. When the envelope arrives a couple of days later, Simon quickly notices that while it claims to be from Kansas, it's actually from Arizona, thanks to the tracking numbers on the online stamp. He's heading to Phoenix soon and offers to take Ken with him since he's familiar with all the supermarkets in the area. Meanwhile, Connie books an appointment at the fertility clinic and brings JoJo along for support because she hasn't told Rick about it. The doctor informs her this is her final chance, so Connie decides to use donor sperm instead of her husband's. Later in the evening, Tina calls to ask where all the money has gone and becomes furious when she hears their explanation. They miss the point. By using JoJo's cosmetics brand, the money had already been laundered. Now, they need to sell everything they bought and deposit the money back into the bank in small daily amounts. When Rick returns from a business trip, he notices the new TV Connie bought. She tells him she's gotten a sales job and no longer uses coupons. Rick is pleased and calls her his new wife, which convinces Connie even more to go through with the donor treatment. Meanwhile, Ken and Simon are questioning cashiers in the area about coupon-obsessed customers. When they speak to Greg, he can't give Connie's name, but describes her and mentions her 2 pennies motto, which Ken remembers from the website. The next day, they visit the local post office to see if anyone recognizes a blonde coupon user. Nobody recalls Connie, but when the topic of coupons comes up, they point to Earl, who's known for watching JoJo's saving tips on YouTube. Meanwhile, selling their items on eBay becomes overwhelming for Connie and JoJo. At a cafe, they meet 2 men from a gun club, get the club's address, and later visit with their weapons for sale. JoJo gives a great sales pitch, but the leader declines, so they offer a discount for buying everything at once, sealing the deal. Ken and Simon question Earl privately, but he refuses to share information. After being released, Earl goes to JoJo's house and leaves her a note disguised as regular mail, which Josie unknowingly takes. Earl doesn't realize Ken and Simon have followed him, and they begin surveillance outside the house. That night, JoJo arrives home, and they realize she's the woman from the YouTube video when she dances in the driveway to celebrate her big sale. The next morning, JoJo is distracted by an argument with Josie and ignores the mail. She drives to the stash house as usual, with Ken and Simon following. They spot Connie there and recognize her from Greg's description. Simon calls in other postal inspectors to start the operation. With more details, identifying Connie and JoJo becomes easy, and Greg later confirms it. That night, unable to sleep, JoJo checks on her mother, then heads to the kitchen for a snack, where she finally finds Earl's note warning her to leave town. But it's too late. Simon and his team arrive to arrest Connie, JoJo, and Josie. After raiding their homes and the stash house, the arrests make the news, shocking Earl when he sees JoJo on TV. During questioning, Rick and Josie quickly deny involvement and agree to cooperate. JoJo tries to act innocent, but investigators find her videos on her computer. Connie admits her role, but is stunned to learn they could face 40 years to life for fraud. She agrees to take full blame so JoJo can get a lighter sentence. JoJo is released on bail, thinking Josie paid it, but it was actually Earl, who greets her with flowers. Connie isn't as fortunate. Rick visits only to scold her and refuses to pay her bail, so she asks for a divorce. Investigators trace the coupons back to Alejandro and Rosa, but the pair have vanished, and the Mexican government won't pursue them. Connie hires an expensive lawyer, which proves wise. At trial, he argues that Connie and JoJo merely used a loophole like corporations do, convincing the court. The tactic works. JoJo gets 10 days in jail and a year of probation, while Connie receives 11 months with possible parole. Simon and Ken are unhappy, but the state attorney explains the judge went easy because the coupon brands wanted to avoid bad publicity, and the $80 million lost was insignificant to them. As the case closes, Simon tells Ken he's a good man, but should tone down his attitude. Over time, everyone's lives shift. Ken becomes kinder, occasionally accepting fake coupons from elderly customers, and finally creates a dating app profile. Connie finalizes her divorce, and her fertility treatment succeeds, leaving her pregnant in prison. Authorities seize most of the scam's profits, but overlook boxes in the nursery, which Jojo later retrieves, knowing they contain hidden cash. Jojo reunites with Earl, and they move to Montenegro, a non-extradition country, to start another scam under a new cosmetics brand, waiting for Connie's release so they can work together again.